Hey guys, welcome back everybody. So today we're gonna discuss how to configure the static route with exit interface on the iOS XR router. So this is my simple topology. We have router number 1, router number 2, router 3 and router 4. And router 1 and router 2 is running with the 12.0/24. Router 2 and router 3 is running with the 23.0/24 and router 3 and router 4 is running with the 34.0/24. Now what is the goal over here right now? We need to achieve the communication between the 1.0 to the 4.0/8 network, and this configuration we are doing on the iOS XR router. So here we are not going to discuss about the theory of the static route. Here we're going to do the lab on the iOS XR router with exit interface. Now let's start with the configuration. What I can do that first, I'll take the router console. I have to give the username first of all. I'll take the law and password will be Cisco1. Same thing, I'm going to open the router number 2 as well. Cisco1. That's all. Same thing on R3. So these iOS XR are basically used in the service provider environment, or even you can encounter in the enterprise network as well. So mostly you will encounter the XR series of router like ASR 9000, right, in the service provider environment. So XR4 now we have law Cisco1 and Cisco1. Law Cisco1. That's all right. So what I can do that I'll use my notepad to configure everything. So we have a router number 1 config terminal, right, and interface gig 0y0y0y0. That's my router 1 interface we have. This interface we are talking about, and I'll configure the IP address will be 10.1.12.1/24, right? And then I have a loopback as well, interface loopback number 101.1/8. Same thing on the, I'll give the host name for this one as well. Host name will be router 1, and same for the router number 2 right now. Config terminal host name will be router number 2, right? Interface gig 0y0y0y0 10.1.12.2. No shutdown interface loopback number 1, IP address, not IP address on the loopback on the router number 2. I don't have it. Interface gig 0y0y0y1. IP address will be 10.123.2/24. No shutdown. R3 now we have. I'll give the, let's copy and paste it, right? On R3, I have a host name will be R3, and this guys will be go with the 23.3. That's my router 3, this interface, and this interface will go with the 34.3 as well, right? And then finally we have a R4 now. In R4 I'll copy and paste the same configuration. So I don't require the 0/1 on the R4 because it's a simple 0/1 we have, sorry, 0/0 we have. I require the loopback on the router 4. That's a 4.4.4.4/8. So I'll change this guys to 34.4 as well. That's good, right? Now this is how we can do that, the IP configuration on the iOS XR router. But this configuration is not activated eventually, right? Because XR follow the 2 stage configuration, right? In the first stage configuration, what happened? This configuration will be a part of the on the router, but it will be not activated until unless you are not going to put the commit command. The commit command is a second stage of configuration. So on the router number 2 as well, on the router 3 as well, and the router 4 as well. All good. So on the router number 1 also I'm going to give the static route. So I have a router static, right? This is the how you can go in the static mode. Address family we have IPv4 unicast, and from router number 1, right, if you see, I would like to go to the, I'm sitting on the router number 1 right now. I would like to go to the 23, 34 and the 4.0/8, and here I'm going to use my exit interface will be 0/0. So I have a 10.123.0/24. My exit interface will be 0/0. 10.134.0/24. My exit interface will be 0/0/0, and my loopback 4.0/0/8 gig 0y0y0. So whenever you're going to define the exit interface, right, in the exit interface, always what happened, it's gonna hit the error message, right? Kindly please check the configuration, because this is not a best recommendation to configure the static route in the production network, but it doesn't mean that we do not configure the exit interface static route. Somewhere we do have a requirement. I'll make a separate video on this one, but that's not a static by recommendation way. So you have to always use the either the next hop, or either you can use the combination of the exit interface plus a static route as well. Same thing on the router number 2, router static, right? Address family, IPv4 unicast. And on the router number 2 perspective, you see, I would like to go to the this one, and then this one, and then this one as well. So one of the best part of this one is static dot exit interface. It does not perform the recursive lookup. So that's one of the great advantage. And we have a 1.0.0.0/8 and my gig 0 over here right now. And same thing on the 10.1.34.0 as well /24 gig 0/0/1 and 4.0.0/8 right now. And that's gig 0/0/1. So from R2, if I want to go this side, 34 and 4, this is my exit interface. From R2, if I go this side, then 0/0/0 is my exit interface. On R3 as well, router static, right? And address family IPv4 unicast, and I have a 10.1.12.0/24. On a router 3, we'll use the gig 0/0 to reach to the 12.0, and same thing in the loopback as well, /8. And same way, if I go to the 4.0.0/8, then I have to use a gig 0/0/1. R4 now we have. On a R4, right, obviously, right, I want to go from here to the this guy and this guy and this guy finally. So I will use my gig 0/0/0 as the exit interface. Router is static, right? Address family IPv4 unicast, and I'm gonna configure this guy as a 10.1.23.0/24 gig 0/0/0, 10.1.12.0/24 gig 0/0/0, right? And then we have a finally 1.0.0/8 gig 0/0/0. That's all. My configuration is done. Finally, we need to give the commit command, right, to save the configuration. If you don't put the commit, then the configuration will be not activated on the router. All good. So I'll start my copy and pasting from the router 1. Here we go. Right, information has been saved now on R2 as well. On R3. If you remember that the static route on the iOS router is something different than over here, I'll show you that. But one of the great part of the static route is what? Static route not consuming the lots of resources on the router side. At the same time, it's not sending any kind of periodic hello packet and the keep alive packet like that. The dynamic routing protocol is doing that. So it saves the resources, save the bandwidth, and save the CPU as well. R4 now. We have those guys done, and finally we have router 1. That's a static route on router number 1. Configure this guy, and my static route has been configured on the router number 2 as well. All done. And router 3 as well. All done. And the router 4 as well. Now the static route has been configured. So if you go to the router number 1 and kindly check the SOIP route now, you can see that I do have a static route, right? And also for the 4.0/8 network as well. So it does not have any exit next hop. It has an exit interface. So with the command so route 4.0.0.0, right, you can see that this route is a distance 1 right now, and the static route, the matrix does not use by the static route, that's why it's a 0. And I'm going to send the packet directly to this interface, right? So I'm simply going to place the packet on this particular interface, then this interface is going to forward the packet to the router number 2. You can see also the Ceph table as well. So Ceph, right? So you can see that, right, this doesn't have any recursive flag over here, right? So if you're gonna do any static route with the next hop, so you will see the recursive flag over here, but it doesn't have it because it does not perform the recursive lookup. Now what I can do that, let's make a ping pong, right? So if I'm going to make a ping 4.4.4.4 source, I'm going to use my loopback number 1. Have a look. My ping is not working right now. The reason is that if you go to the, let's check on the router number 1, I'll show you that. This is the one of the major differences happening in the static route with exit interface on the iOS router and the XR as well. So you put the command show IP interface gig 0 by 0 by 0 by 0, right? What you can find that my proxy ARP is disabled right now. So if the proxy ARP is disabled, then it's not going to work, right? Exit interface require the proxy ARP concept. If you want to know the more detail of why the proxy ARP is needed for the static route, then I hope you, I'm recommendation you check the iOS videos, right, where I have explained properly what is the need of proxy ARP in the case of the static router with the exit interface. Now, what we have to do that we need to enable the proxy ARP, right? So on the every site, on every router, we need to enable it. So I'll better to go and on every interface and enable it. IP proxy ARP and command. So IP proxy command is for the iOS router. This is for the XR one. Same thing on this guy as well. I'll go the root interface gig 0 by 0 by 0 by 0 proxy ARP and interface gig 0 by 0 by 1 as well proxy ARP. Come with this guy and R3 as well, right? Root interface gig 0 by 0 by 0 and proxy ARP and interface gig 0 by 0 by 0 by 1 proxy ARP and commit this guy, and finally we have router 4 as well. So by default the proxy ARP is disabled on the iOS XR router. You need to manually enable the proxy ARP whenever you require to enable it. Okay, so now if I'm going to make a ping, it's not going to work. So if you quickly verify it as well with the same command, so you can see that my proxy ARP is enabled. Now the ping is going to work. So this is also a beautiful troubleshoot as well. So sometimes in a CCI lab exam, what happened, they will ask you to configure the exit interface, right? So people coming from the enterprise background, right, they have iOS router, so they thought that okay, this is gonna work, but it's not gonna work until unless you're not gonna enable the proxy ARP. Thank you so much guys, see you in the next video.